Welcome to CSE 505, Foundations of Information Technology. I'm Professor Gary Locklear, and I'm glad you're here. Thanks, seriously, thanks for being part of the community of scholars here at Concordia University, Wisconsin. You know, this is a pretty exciting time, I hope, for you. You're beginning a very new adventure. You're beginning your Master of Science in Information Technology degree program. So I hope you feel a lot of anticipation, come on in, a lot of excitement, but there's probably a little bit of trepidation also. You're probably a little concerned about, you know, what have I gotten myself into? Am I going to be able to do the work? How hard is this going to be? How much time is it going to take? And so I understand all those feelings for sure. At this point in your career, you've already spent the time getting at least one degree, the equivalent of an undergraduate degree. And that was plenty of work. And some of you can remember it like it was yesterday, because it may have been. And for others, it might have been a little while ago. But I don't want you to panic, okay? The reason that this program exists is really to help ensure student success. It is not an easy program, but at the same time, our goal, our focus is really to help you succeed. One of the reasons that you see the chairperson of the department and the director of the program running this specific class is because I believe, and the department believes, that we really want to get everybody started off correctly. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Hey, wow, that's pretty good. You are ready to go. We're going to be doing a number of different things today. I'll talk about the logistics of the course in just a little bit as we get into it. So if you're wondering, why aren't you answering my questions up front, it's because there are too many questions to answer. So we're just going to slip into things, and we'll talk about a number of different logistical topics throughout today and really throughout this course. I've talked to a number of you before at either an orientation session or maybe individually, although not all of you. This is the first time I'm seeing some of you. But if you heard me before, one of the things I try to say is, here's everything you need to know about the program. Now, don't worry, you're going to forget some of this, but we'll tell you again. Well, today's the day we're going to start telling you again, okay? Let me give you just a tiny bit of background about Concordia University, Wisconsin's Master of Science in Information Technology program. Our tagline, we wouldn't call it a slogan, that's too banal. But our tagline, and maybe you saw it when you walked through the double glass doors in the department, Information Technology, the technology program with a soul. We've really internalized that, and let me tell you a little bit about what that means. For us, information technology is more about people than it is technology. Many IT programs focus on just the technology. Now, obviously, we're going to have to talk about hardware and software, but there's a much more important component of an IT system, and that's people. I guess personally, I'm always surprised at the number of books, the number of articles, the number of programs, the number of courses that talk all about IT, but never talk about the fundamental central role of people. Now, sometimes they think it's obvious. Well, of course, we're people, we're information technologists, and we're doing it. But actually, there's another even more important person in the world of IT outside of us, and that's our user. Our focus in the MSIT program here at Concordia University, Wisconsin is user-centric. Everything we do in IT is supposed to focus on and assist the user in applying technology to solve problems. So this technology, the soul of this for us is really other people. Now, the reason I tell you that is because you might actually get tired of hearing me say that, because they're going to say that every day. It's sort of like brainwashing. I hope that you will listen to it, believe it, and actually internalize it. If you've worked in industry, maybe some of you have worked in an IT department, but if you've worked in industry and that place has an IT department, no doubt you've experienced some level of frustration. The stereotype of an IT support department is, we own the technology. And if you want to use my technology, then you have to come and beg. And if we feel like it, we might help you with that. That's a totally inappropriate approach to doing information technology. IT is a service organization. IT exists to serve other people and to help them do well. In other words, to help them employ the technology they need to do their job in this organization. So I'm going to talk about that a lot. And I'll try not to share too many of my personal war stories of frustration with IT departments, but maybe you have some too. Ever have to call up or go online with a tech company because there was something wrong with your personal piece of technology? If you have, you know that many of these organizations are designed to frustrate you. They're purposely designed to, like chat. Hello, how are you today? And then a 5-minute pause. That's part of the program. They really hope that you'll go away, right? And we don't have to solve your problem, right? I don't want you to do that as a future IT professional. Okay? Let me talk to you just a little bit about the entire program here. Okay? Don't worry, we'll talk about it again, and there is academic stuff to do in this class, but I know you wonder about that. You've seen the brochures, you've seen the catalog, you've seen the website, but really, what is going on around here? Here is the standard story. The MSIT program is 39 credits. In order to graduate with a master's degree in information technology, you need to complete 39 credits. Now, each course, with the exception of one, is 3 credits. So if you do the division, you'll discover that you have to complete 13 courses. 7 courses are required. Everybody takes these 7 courses. Then you have a choice. Of the remaining 6 classes that you'd have to take to complete our program, you can choose 6 of them. And we have a number of elective courses. In just a second, I'll break out of here and I'll show you what those are. That's okay. We use technology. We know what's going on there. As a matter of fact, I think I'll just break out right now. And let me go to the website. By the way, the address I'm going to is www.cs.cuw.edu. The CS in that address is computer science, the computer science department. One of the first questions I get is, well, I'm in an information technology program. What's the computer science? Computer science is the mother discipline. Our IT program, along with our computer science program, are housed in the department that's called computer science. So don't let that bug you. You're in the right place. You're an information technologist. This is the Master of Science in Information Technology. You're in the right place. But the website is the computer science department. If you go there and find the MSIT degree, yeah, first of all, you're going to see my picture there. I keep trying to get this changed. But anyway, you probably don't need to know much about program admission. I think you're already admitted to the program here. But here is a listing of the courses, and yeah, there's 2 not listed on there. Okay? In spite of my best efforts to have this all updated, you know how it goes. things aren't always up to date. So there are 7 required courses. The one that you're in right now is CSC 505/805, Foundations of Information Technology. This course is required of everybody. And in a little bit, I'm going to tell you what this course specifically is all about. So, if you'd like to have a little more information, if you'd like to say, well, gosh, what are the other courses? What are they like? Go to the web page. This will tell you a little description of the course. It will show you the text required for the course and other kinds of things. I thought there was a mistake there, but that is correct. Okay, good. Lots of resources. And for those of you that have seen this already, and for those of you that will have this memorized the first time, I apologize. I'm going to show everybody again. Okay? I'll just show you a couple times such that it becomes hopefully second nature to you. But the other thing you'll notice is each course in our curriculum actually has 2 numbers associated with it. Foundations of Information Technology has both 505 and 805 associated with it. It's the same course. The difference is delivery. Every course that begins with a 5 happens on campus. For those of you sitting right here at the end of January 2015 at the Mequon campus, you're in 505. Now, at a distance, and I'm pointing at my webcam, I have students taking this class via 805. They're taking it not only at a distance physically, but also maybe at a distance in time. There may be folks taking 805 2 months from now, and they might be watching this course cast. I don't know why, just for jollies. Okay? So when you see those 2 numbers, you don't have to take both of these. You don't take both 510 and 810. It's the same course. You can choose within some limitations, whether you take a course on campus or whether you take a course online. Many folks call it e-learning around here. Good. So, what are you going to do when you grow up? I didn't know the answer to that question until I was 30, because I was working in the computing industry, and then I decided to do something different. So if you don't exactly know right now, that's okay. But I will commend you, because you do know something. You do know that advanced degree is part of whatever you want to do in the future. Whether that's to get your ultimate dream job or satisfying career, or whether that's just a stepping stone in your current career. So, what are you going to do in the future? By the way, you're going to hear a funny term from the instructors in the program here. We're going to use the terminology vocation. See, a job is a way to make money. When I was an undergraduate student, I worked as a mechanic in a Ford garage. I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. I did that to earn money. And that's what a job is all about. A career is not only do you earn money, but you find it personally satisfying. So when I graduated, I began working for Hewlett-Packard Company as a computing professional. And I found it very satisfying, and it paid money. You know what? There's something else even beyond that. And that's what a vocation is. A vocation, yes, may pay the bills. Yes, you may find it personally satisfying. But a vocation is a way to serve other people. Concordia University, Wisconsin is a Lutheran higher education community committed to helping students develop in mind, body, and spirit for service to Christ in the church and the world. We are a Lutheran Christian higher education community. Now, let me make sure you know what that means. It has nothing to do with you as students. I don't know anything about your religious background unless you share that with me. I just don't know. Being at Concordia University, Wisconsin has nothing to do about you, has everything to do with the people at the front of the room. Because you decided to come here, we are going to share our worldview perspective with you. And part of that worldview is IT is a vocation. It's not just a way to line your pockets with money. It's a way to serve other people. That connects right back to the soul of IT. Now, what might you do in the future, though? Yeah, and it's okay. You're not looking at a vocation. That's okay. You're looking for a career. That's great. Right? Are there any jobs in IT? Shake your heads this way. This means yes. Yes, there are plenty of jobs. Worldwide and in the United States, there are two hot job markets right now: allied healthcare and information technology. IT has been hot for 10 years. It'll be hot for the next 200 years. And here's why. Every company needs technology. I want you to tell me a company that you know of more than one person, that doesn't use technology. Can you think of a company that doesn't utilize technology as part of their enterprise? That's really hard to think of. Did you use technology today personally? I'm sure you did. Right? Okay. It's hard to imagine any career that is not going to use technology to help the people in that enterprise or business be more effective. Most companies need information technologists to support them, to manage the technology, to apply the technology, to help them solve the problem so their business can succeed. Right? Yeah. You know, the neat thing about IT, the really interesting thing about information technology is you don't have to work in a tech company. Now you can. I have graduates working at IBM, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Hewlett-Packard, name all the big tech companies. Okay? We have graduates working there, but guess what? Do financial institutions need IT support? Absolutely. Any of the large financial institutions around here, U.S. Bank, First Star, etc., they have large data centers, they have large IT departments that help support the business or the enterprise. Does manufacturing need technology? Does healthcare need technology? Does retail need technology? And the list goes on and on. You know, I had a student, an undergraduate student actually, a couple semesters ago, who was a really good IT student, but he said, I don't want to, I just don't want to sit by a computer all day. And so I asked him, Albert, what are you interested in? And I knew because we share this same interest. He was interested in cars. And I said, do you think any automotive companies, do you think they need IT people? And he said, well, of course. And I said, you're right, of course. Do we use technology to create and design cars? To manufacture cars? Are there computer components inside of cars? Absolutely. He's I can't remember I don't remember the company that he works for, Kentucky. Who's in Kentucky? Is it like Hyundai or something? But anyway, he loves it. He's doing IT. He's doing IT. I mean, he's still doing computers. But he gets to marry his other interest, and that was cars, to it. You can do the same thing. Don't limit yourself to saying, well, in the future I'm going to have to, sit at the desk, type at the computer all day long. No, you could do lots of different things. This is really exciting stuff, I think. I got a little ahead of myself because I just wanted to tell you that, yeah, you're in the right vocation. Now, I don't know if I should share this or not, but there are some other, I won't tell you which ones, but there are some other master's degree programs, some that we even offer at this university, that there aren't a whole lot of jobs for. Not a lot of jobs for those folks. I won't take the time right now, but what I want you to do sometime is use your favorite job search engine. Monster, Dice, whatever you like. Or if you don't know, just search for something. Or there's a local one, MilwaukeeJobs.com. I actually have a former student working in their IT department there. They need IT folks too. Okay? MilwaukeeJobs.com. And I just want you to either search for information technology or go to that link. See how many jobs there are. How many do you think? 3? 9? Thousands, thank you. And that's just regionally. Milwaukee Jobs, goes up to about Green Bay, about west of Madison, down to, Chicagoland suburbs or whatever. Oh man, there are a lot of jobs. So, the future is bright. You want a job because you want to make money? It's here in IT. You want a career because I enjoy it and I'd like to be satisfied? It's here in IT. And by the time we're done, I hope that you'll sort of catch the fever and want to think about serving other people along the way too in a vocation. Okay. What about this class? And this is very similar to the logistics of every other class that we'll meet on campus. Our on-campus courses follow what we call an accelerated model. Typically, a semester is 15 weeks long. Typically, you'd be in class about 3 hours a week to get about 45 contact hours. That's the classic U.S. education model. In the accelerated model, it's not going to take us 15 weeks. We're going to be done in 8 weeks. Yes! There's a disadvantage, though. We're going to meet 4 hours a week. And the other disadvantage is we're going to meet those entire 4 hours in one day. For you in CSC 505, that's today. That's Thursday evening. Okay? We start at 6. We end at 10. Now, if you add up all the hours, you'll find they're not quite 45. Well, that's okay. We make up for it. We ask you to do some things along the way, too. Okay? This is the standard format. Each course is 8 weeks long. You meet 4 hours, 1 night a week. Now, let's see. Do we got anything to write with around here? A semester at Concordia University, Wisconsin is nominally 15 weeks or so. So you're saying, well, what do we do in the other time? This is what happens in the MSIT program. There are 3 semesters per year. This is the spring semester. It began Monday. It runs through about the middle of May. Starting at the end of May, we have a summer semester. And then starting the last week in August, we have a fall semester. In the MSIT program, because our courses are 8 weeks long, we divide spring and fall into 2 back-to-back sessions. So this is Session A. Session A runs from the end of January through the middle of March. Now, of course, the specific dates will change depending upon the year. So the 8 weeks, that's Session A. And we're done. 8 weeks from tonight, we're going to take an exam, and we're going to be done. Oh, there'll be some other things to do, too. But you're going to celebrate. Trust me, you're going to feel good about yourself. And then, beginning that next week, through the middle of May, is Session B. Okay? So what's that mean? Well, you could take a class in Session A, like CSC 505, and then you could take another class in Session B. You don't have to remember what these. I'll just put one down. 525. That's data security. So over the course of one semester, you can complete just 1 night a week. You can complete 2 courses. That's pretty good, huh? Okay. Now, if you are a full-time student, federal regulations mandate that you must take and complete at least 9 credits per semester. That's right. Well, how are you going to do that? A couple ways. One way is when you take a look at our course schedule, you'll notice that, like right now, there are about, 7 different, that's the right number, MSIT courses going on this session. Okay? We try to keep them on different nights. For example, I teach CSE 565 Monday night, CSE 501 Tuesday night. I saw some of you there. And CSE 505 on Thursday nights. Okay? My colleague, Professor Wall, teaches 5:45 on Tuesdays. Dr. Lippman teaches 5:35 on Wednesdays. Professor Banish is in human-computer interaction. So you could take 2 different classes in the same semester. That's okay. Full-time students do this. Sometimes people say, well, yeah, it's okay, right? It's all right. So, for example, you could also take, well, I can't, look, okay, CSE 540, that's networking. Professor Hoppe, Dr. Shao, 525 is on, I wonder what night that is, Monday night. 540, I think, is Wednesday night. See, I even know my own program. That's pretty good, okay? So you come Monday night, 8 weeks, Wednesday night, 8 weeks, you got 2 classes taken care of. Oh, that's cool. There's another alternative. Every course is offered in an online format. So you could, let's say you say, oh, you know what? I really want to take that next course sequential. I want to take 510. You look on the schedule, it's not offered. You know what? 810 is offered. All of our courses are offered every semester via e-learning. So you say, okay, in session A I get 505 done, and then in session B I want to take 540 and CSE 810. Now, 810 is offered online, so you don't have to go on Wednesday night. You determine, within reason, when you're going to be taking the course. You decide, okay, I'm going to be working on this material Friday night. You're funny. Okay? Or whatever it might be. And then you just keep up, and then you're done. Now, our e-learning department demands that you complete an online course within 12 weeks. But your instructor may say different. For example, if you're taking an online course with me, I'm going to say 8 weeks. That's exactly how long it would be if it was on campus. Okay? All right. Lots of options here. Now again, are you going to remember this? If this is the second time you've heard it, some things are becoming a little clearer. If it's the first time, no. Now, summer is a little different. There's only 1 session. There's not physical time to have 2 sessions back to back. If you're a full-time student, I don't know what to tell you about summer, because the rules change all the time. And I just don't know. This is what I think. I think it says you should take at least one class in the summer. I could be wrong. Maybe you don't have to take any at all. So if you're a full-time student, you have to ask somebody. Okay. Fall, same thing. Session A, session B. Okay. Now, if you are a full-time student, you could be done with our program in 2 years, easy, right? 9, 9, 9, 9, 3, and you wouldn't even need the other 3, but you could do that. Okay? Do you have to be done with the program in 2 years? No, you don't. My rule is you must complete the degree program within 7 years. Some of you have heard this before and laughed and said, because I'm going to be done much. Good for you. But my only rule is you have to be done within 7 years. Oh. you have to follow, I keep saying my rules. I'm being somewhat facetious. I'm talking about the department. Right? The department follows the standard graduate school guidelines at the university. So I actually didn't make it up. I didn't get to say 7 years. That's the university policy for a graduate student. But you know what? You might have another organization that you need to ensure you follow their rules. For example, maybe you have a sponsoring body. Maybe you're here on a scholarship from a certain organization. If another group is giving you a scholarship to come here, they also have some guidelines for you. You'll have to make sure you follow them. They might be more stringent than mine. There are some scholarship organizations that demand their students do 12 credits per semester. Okay. Here's what happened one time. A student came up to me and said, do I have to take 12 credits per semester? And I said, no. But if you've got anybody else that you report to, check with them. Well, all the student heard was no. That's just my guideline. Okay. Here's another caveat. Let's say you're an international student. If you're an international student, you also are under the auspices of our OISS, and that acronym is Office of International and Student Services, the international office. They also have some guidelines, and they're happy to tell you they're not their guidelines, they're federal government guidelines dealing with visa. Okay? If you're an international student, it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, that you have to take 9 credits per semester, and you have to have one course on campus each session. Maybe I'm wrong. You need to check with them. Okay? Whew, I'll say it again, but not right now. In this course, as with many courses, your instructor may talk about units. A unit is just a way that we've structured or organized the material. Don't worry about it. The only thing that you'll notice when I show you our learning management system, our website, in just a little bit, is that all the course content is under a folder identified as a unit. We're going to begin with, guess what? Unit 1. Approximately each 2 weeks, there'll be a new unit of this course. Doesn't mean too much to you. Don't worry about it. Don't try to psychoanalyze it. But just, that's how I've structured things. So sometimes I'll say, okay, hi, we're in Unit 2. Good. It is physically impossible to sit for hours and hours on end. I might be able to teach 4 hours straight, but I've already been teaching 6 hours today. So, we're going to take a break. Now, here's the bad thing. The break is not long enough for you to go down to the cafeteria and get something or drive to McDonald's. You know, 7 minutes. It's just enough time to shake the cobwebs out, walk out to the facilities out here, get a drink of water, whatever, and then come back and do it again. Sometimes I have problems encouraging people to come back from break. And when that happens, then I just don't give a break. And if that happens, the rest of you should turn to those people who could not come back on time and say, get back on time, or we're going to we're not going to be happy with you. Okay? So if we can all just take a break and come back, then we can pump this through, and that'll be great. That'll be good. I don't know about you. Many of you worked all day. Me too. I'm teaching 12 courses this semester. I taught for 6 hours already today on Thursday. Okay? It's been a full day. I'm tired too. I know you are. Let's work together. Let's get it pumped out. We can do it. Typically, I want to tell you how I structure. This won't be everybody. But usually, not today, but usually during the first hour, I like to hit the heaviest academic stuff. That's where we're going to be freshest. Right? I'm going to hit probably the hardest stuff first. And then in the second hour, if I got logistical things like talk about a homework assignment or see if you have questions, we'll do it then. by the time the 4th hour comes around, we're going to be brain dead. And typically, if you're on campus, now you folks at a distance, don't listen to this. On campus, we're going to be doing some things in the lab or some other kind of activity that will be very different. Okay? All right. I understand. I've been there. I've been a graduate student. I've taught these classes. This is the way we're going to do it. I hope it doesn't surprise you to realize that we're going to use technology in this class. We're going to use a number of different technological resources available to us from Concordia University, Wisconsin. The department website, the university website, the university's learning management system. This thing, Angel, is our learning management system. LMS is just a fancy name for a website that allows teaching and learning. I'm going to show it to you. You've got to get familiar with that immediately, because everything for this course is online. With the exception of 2 textbooks that I'll show you in a minute, everything is here at this website. Speaking of that, there are 2 textbooks in this course. The first one is J. Glenn Brookshire, Computer Science and Overview. By the way, the next edition, the 12th edition, is out. You could get either 11 or 12. And by the way, there may not be a whole lot of difference from 11 back to 10. But this is the one that I'm going to be referencing. Again, you might say, computer science? This is a course in information technology. Well, today you'll figure out what's going on there. You need this book. And by the way, this book is used not only in this class, but also in other classes. I use it in 501. When I teach, well, 565, the IT capstone, I use the book there. I've asked my other faculty to use the book too. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But this is a great, as the title implies, overview. It's well worth it. I know if you look at it in our bookstore, it's, I don't know, 80, 90 bucks. You say, that's a lot. You don't have to get it from our bookstore either. Get it from wherever. But if you don't have the book yet, and you're going to order the book, I'm going to encourage you to get it here soon. If you order this book online, many online sellers will ship material parcel post, book rate. That's the slowest possible shipping. It could literally take weeks to get a book from New Jersey to Milwaukee using book rate. So if you don't have the book yet and you plan on ordering it rather than buying it in our bookstore, be sure that you pay a little more. You know, you see it, oh, $1.99 shipping, that's really cheap. No, it'll never get here. Okay? Pay the standard rate. Okay? You know, it'll be $5.99 shipping or whatever it is, such that you can get that book. As a matter of fact, tonight, there's going to be an assignment that requires you to read something out of that text. Before you panic, I do have that section online. Okay? But you're going to need that book sooner rather than later. Computer Science and Overview, J. Glenn Brookshire. You want the ISBN, look at the website. It's right there. The second book that we're going to use in this class and others too is Coding, the Handbook for Information Technology. This is not a textbook per se. This is a reference guide, a resource manual. Now, the department's going to give you this book. Some of you may have it because you're in 501 with me right now. But if you don't have this book, at the break, I'm going to go get them and I'm going to give it to you. Okay? When you look at this on the bottom of the cover here, you see there's a whole bunch of software technologies it talks about, from Java to DB2. No information technologist is an expert on everything. And I want you to begin to broaden your horizons. I'm going to ask you to look at a number of those chapters. Some you may already know. Okay? You may already know Java, so that won't be a big deal. But you may not know the next thing that we look at. So I'm going to ask you to look through some things and do some things there, just so you can become a little more adept at dealing with both new things and the resources associated with them. Learning happens when you connect your current knowledge base to something new in order to master that. And that's the purpose of this guy here. Almost every graduate school that I'm familiar with has students work on the honor system. The honor system means you are on your honor to do your own work, to avoid plagiarism or any other form of academic misconduct or academic dishonesty. Now, if you look in the graduate handbook, you'll see this is all laid out. And I'll talk to you just a little bit about that. But the biggest problem that I see sometimes, thankfully rarely, but sometimes, is students involved with plagiarism. Plagiarism is using the words or ideas of another person as if they were your own. Whether that other person is something out of a textbook, something you find online, or your friend. If you take the words or ideas of somebody else and claim them as your own, that's plagiarism. Plagiarism has severe consequences in graduate school. If caught, and many people are, plagiarism can result in either a 0, that is an F on the assignment, or a course failure, or dismissal from the program. I don't like talking about this, okay? But unfortunately, it's happened. We've dismissed people from the MSIT program for plagiarism, that is academic dishonesty. Trust me, this is no fun. I did not enjoy it. The students certainly didn't. Imagine spending thousands and thousands of dollars and investing 9 months of your life, and then plagiarism happens and you're out. Don't. There's another thing. Okay, this is a better topic. There's a big difference between graduate school and every other academic environment you've been in. If you were undergraduates and you came to me and said, I don't understand that. Public key encryption, I just don't get it. If you were an undergraduate, I would spend 15 minutes with you, sketch out the big picture, have you fill in the blanks. You're graduate students. I'm going to tell you, fill in the blanks. That's a big difference. See, my charge is by the time you graduate, my signature there indicates that I believe you have mastered the material. If you have to ask your instructors constantly, then you haven't mastered the material. When you're a working professional, are you going to walk up to your boss and say, Boss, you just wanted me to create an e-commerce system. How do you do that? That's not going to work. It does not work that way. Your boss is going to tell you what to do, not how to do it. Now, if you have a question about what I'm supposed to do, that is fair. I have to explain that to you. If you don't understand what the problem is, then that's fair. You can ask me, I don't understand. What is meant by that? What are you looking for? I will explain that. But if the question is a procedural one, how do I do this? Okay, yeah, I will probably answer that a little bit, but don't expect as much help as you may have in the past in your undergraduate career, because now is the time to move from what later we're going to call procedural instructions to declarative instructions. Procedural, somebody'd have to tell you the procedure. Okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. Declarative, we tell you what to do. And that's exactly what happens in industry. your manager, your supervisor, your boss will tell you, here's what we need to have done. Oh, okay. Declarative versus procedural. We'll talk all around it later. Cool. All right. The other thing I like to do in this class and the other ones I teach is I like to talk a little bit about current events, IT news. What I want to do is model something that I think is very important, and that is for you to be in the news. And I don't mean to be like you robbed a bank and so you're on the front page of the news. What I mean by that is you're actually investigating news stories. If you don't do this as a regular habit, I'm going to encourage you to look at IT news. Information technology is a big, broad field. There's a lot of stuff out there. And the more you look at it, especially current events or news, the more things will make sense. You'll see connections to here, there, and then you'll say, oh, I remember that company or that person or that technology, and you'll start making the threads that weave everything together. Okay? So, does your baby have Google Glass? No, because Google has now dropped the Glass program. Okay? But that's okay. What I'm going to do, each time we meet, I'm just going to jump to a website that deals with IT news. Some of you are probably familiar, may have seen these kinds of things, but I'll just give you a number of different resources. And this is what I'm going to suggest. Find one that meets your needs. They all appear a little different. Personally, I hate Yahoo Tech. Yahoo's big redo, the very common content management system that everybody seems to be using now. That doesn't appeal to me. This is a very, soundbite kind of thing, lots of pictures and stuff like that. But, okay, all right, no problem, okay? What I would like you to do is just start scanning things, okay? If you don't know what the Sundance Film Festival is, that's okay. Now, if you don't know what an iPhone is, you should probably investigate that, okay? 2015's best credit cards. This is the new thing now in the U.S. It was very unusual for a U.S. credit card, for a U.S. financial institution to issue a credit card with a chip in it. That's the new thing right now. Globally, this has been happening. Europe's been doing this for a while. Okay. Some of these, see, when you look at this, photographer compares GTA 5's look. What? Well, that's a game, right? Okay. New app calculates odds on your plane crashing. So I don't know what you do. You download that app and you're sitting in line and you put, whoa! Okay, think I'll take the next plane. Sorry. Okay. New app will analyze the odds of your flight crashing. I never know if this is real stuff or made up or whatever. Am I going down? Okay, yeah. I was really, really tempted to get this one. Okay, but see, here's the point. Some of these terms you're going to know. I imagine you know what Twitter is. If you don't, if you come across a term that you don't know, I'm going to just encourage you to just drill in and start picking up that data. Okay? All right. I'm not only going to encourage you to do this, you're going to have an assignment in this first unit that's going to ask you to locate a recent news item, read it, summarize it. Okay? Not burdensome, but you're just going to have to find whatever site you like, find a news story. And I would encourage you to don't stop at the first one, but keep going and look at a couple and find something that interests you. Office on Android. We've had Office on iOS for a while. Oh, okay, again. Office is Microsoft's productivity suite. Of course, you'd have Microsoft Office on Microsoft Windows. So that includes mobile devices running Windows Phone and Windows 8 kinds of things. And then, I don't know, a couple years ago, Microsoft ported Office to iOS, so you can get Office on Apple mobile devices. And now, Office finally comes to Android. Cool. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to investigate the news. I think you'll find it ultimately helpful, both in your courses and as your career as an information technologist. Okay. Every once in a while, I have to share with you stories of my friends Zeb and Martha. Zeb is a computer user. Martha works in the IT support department. So Zeb calls up Martha. He says, "Martha, I'm having problems with my computer." Well, unfortunately, Zeb is one of these people that always has problems with his computer. So Martha sighs, and she comes to visit Zeb. And she looks at it, and she does one thing, and everything's fine. She starts to walk away. And Zeb says, "Wait a minute, what was the problem, Martha?" And Martha says, "It was an ID10T. And Zeb says, "An ID10T? What was that?" "Write it down." If you haven't heard the phrase ID10T before, it's a pretty common phrase in the world of IT. It's unfortunately usually applied to users, and yeah, when you look at it, it says idiot. Okay. We'll try not to treat our users that way, although sometimes idiotic things certainly do happen. Thanks for laughing, by the way. Okay, let's set the stage for this course. We will get into it, but let's set the stage for what CSC 505 is. 505, Foundations of Information Technology, is a survey course. It's designed to look at the broad spectrum of information technology. I want to ensure that at the very beginning of your MSIT program, you've seen the broad spectrum of what IT is all about. Now, some of you have a lot of background. You have a degree. You have work experience. I know that. As a matter of fact, it's hard to be in this program without an undergraduate degree and or work experience in the field. Okay? So I know that. But at the same time, we all have different levels. We all have different expertise. And the other thing that's very important is you need to understand it in the context that we're going to present it in our program. This is good for both novices and for experts. If a pretty poster and a cute saying are all it takes to motivate you, you probably have a very easy job, the kind robots will be doing soon. Yeah. Okay, we don't have to do all of those. I don't want to talk about each one of these because you'll find it online in the course syllabus. But let me just highlight a couple of these objectives. One of the objectives of this course and the entire program is to ensure that you can apply the knowledge of information technology to correct situations and problems. Can I apply this knowledge that I have in IT to correct situations and correct situations and problems? We all already have a lot of knowledge about IT. You do already. Now it's time to see, how do I apply that? What is a correct application? What does that look like? And how do I do it? Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. This fourth objective, understanding professional and ethical issues, is extremely important to us in the MSIT program at CUW. Again, IT isn't just technology. It affects people. And what we do or don't do, obviously then is going to have an impact on other people. And what we do or don't do could either help or hurt folks in lots of different ways. So there are aspects of both professional behavior and ethical behavior that we want to talk about. Now, how do you teach professionalism and ethics? Really hard. So the approach that we take here is we just want to model that. We'll talk about it. We'll do, the classic way to do it, of course, is with case studies and then to analyze what happened and how you could either do something better or avoid the problem. And that's great. But I think it's also appropriate to model it. That means not only me, but also you. Fifth course objective, ability to communicate. This is the one that sometimes surprises people. You know the classic stereotype of an IT professional? Well, the classic stereotype is, I got a computer up here, and I could talk to this computer in ones and zeros. But another person, I can't talk to them. The classic stereotype of an IT professional is one of geek. Geek is actually an unflattering term. It means a socially inept person who can only interact with technology. That shouldn't be us. An information technologist, a professional, has to interact with other people. We have to communicate both verbally, orally, in writing, and in other means to not only solve problems, but just to communicate information. When a user comes to the IT support department and has a problem, one of the classic issues is, well, of course the user can't explain it well. The user isn't a technologist. But unfortunately, oftentimes the IT professional doesn't spend the time really thinking about it. What happens often? She or he jumps to a conclusion. Oh, it's you again. Last time, you turned off the printer and it hung up the queue, so that's the problem. I'll fix it, get out of here. Oftentimes we hear a word or two and we jump to a conclusion. Oh, here's how to fix the problem. Okay? Being a professional means interacting in a professional way. And yeah, it is that same user, and yes, they are saying almost the same thing again, but you know what? We're still going to treat them in the same way that we'd like to be treated, right? Courtesy, respect, etc. Sometimes students are surprised to find out that in our program we are going to ask you to write things. You're going to be writing things. Why? Because you need to communicate effectively. Yeah, that's true too. Now, two important things that you need to know about me. Number one, I'm not an expert. I don't know everything there is to know about information technology. And point number two, I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. I don't know everything. And you know what? Sometimes I make mistakes. Usually about this time somebody says, I want my money back. Okay. Well, I want you to think about it. Does anybody know everything there is to know about information technology? The answer is no. No one knows everything about IT. It gets even worse. Not only does no one know everything about IT, no one even knows how much they know or don't know. You can't say, oh, I know 90% of everything there is to know in IT. You can't do that. So not only don't we know everything, we don't even know how much more there is to possibly know. So let's face it, we are far from experts. That's okay. Now, we have expertise in certain areas. We have expertise with certain features and functions of an app. But anybody to claim that they are an IT expert is unbelievable. You don't have to remember Epictetus old dead guy anyway, Greek philosopher. He had this very interesting comment. What is the first business of him who philosophizes? Philosophizes? What he's talking about is learning. What's the first business of him who wants to learn? To throw away self-conceit. Are you an expert? Throw it away. No, you're not. I'm not. It's impossible for a man to begin to learn that which he thinks he knows. See, here's the problem. If you think you know everything, will you learn anything new? No, because you already know it, right? Yeah. This is hard. I mean, let's face it, folks. It's hard to say, I made a mistake. I've had to do that in 2 of the 3 night classes that I teach this week. Okay? I haven't had to do that yet in this class. I bet I will before the night's done. Yeah. Sorry, that's just part of being a professional. So, what I'm saying is, if you think you're an expert, just pretend with me that you're not. I think you'll be surprised how much you will learn, even going back to what many would consider the very beginning or ground zero of information technology. I think you'll be surprised what's there. Okay, believe it or not, we're actually going to get into the academic stuff. But we're going to do that after a break. Now, on campus, folks, here's the deal. What time is it? 2 minutes after. If you'll come back at 10 minutes after 7 by that